So it's an exciting day, yet sad at the same time, but we got this thing, and I'll explain in a second. So it's a little bit of a bittersweet slash sad day, but basically I was going to trade this with Casey, my friend, and for a Volkswagen Bug, except that Casey works for a really cool shop now restoring other cars, and his life just became super busy. So Casey got really busy, and his hopes to be able to use this kind of were quickly diminished, which isn't a bad thing nor a good thing. It just kind of is what it is. And so ultimately the trade didn't end up happening. I did still want his Bug, but he ended up selling it before I could get enough anything to do it. Plus, in reality, in retrospect, I'm still working on paying Japan off, so I don't want that to happen while I'm still trying to pay Japan off. So ended up coming to pick up the van. The van, actually exciting. It's a really cool van. It's the first time I follow it. Normally I'm getting followed because I'm driving all these cool cars, but that van is headed to Colorado. So soon you'll see me and the family take another trip to Colorado, which is exciting because at the same time Megan's cousin's getting married. So we're gonna kill two stones with one bird and get out there to see Colorado. So exciting. For now, the reason we're picking it up today is because I wanted to get it off of Casey's property so you didn't have to worry about it. We're actually headed out of town hopefully tomorrow if all goes well. I basically have to get Project Acty washed up and ready to go so that it can go to its new owner Steve, and hopefully we'll see more about that in the future. But we just need to get the van back home so that it's not taking up space in somebody else's property, and we're getting ready because that's going to get delivered more towards the later side of August. We're going to try and do some PDR on it. There's a little bit of a bump up front, but for the most part the van's actually ready to go and it's good. So drive it home. There's a couple things I got to do in this video to the truck to really prep it to go. I got these fancy mirrors on, which are really great, but as you can tell, my blinker's going, and from those little dots right there, they're not blinking. And then there's also an additional light on it, that light on right underneath the dots, that should be working, but it doesn't, because again, my truck came with very minimal stuff. And so with the leftover money that I had from the truck, the previous truck, I was able to buy some of these things to make Toby into what Toby is now. So unfortunately didn't get the radio to work. I'm still working on sourcing a radio. If you or know of anyone that has a good radio for this, it's got the base model harness, please let me know. And then it seems like this is gonna have to come out, and I'm gonna have to get an actual different trailer brake controller, an aftermarket one that's like a little dial one, because that, I think you need specific modules that the truck didn't come with, and Chevy made it really hard in like the newer trucks to basically be able to plug it in and make it work, which is really annoying. But anyways, so you'll see me do a couple things. There's also an HD camera that I got to install instead of the crappy one that comes from the factory. So simple little things. Also some rain guards. I would have loved to have had the windshield tinted, but it's probably not going to happen for this trip. Hopefully for the next trip it'll happen. And the reason I wanted to do windshield tint is because you could feel the heat radiate from the sun. This has got ceramic tint, which is really cool. It's great, so you don't have to worry about the heat there. But this really, it when it gets really hot and you're driving, it's really annoying. So soon to come. Anyways, talking a lot, more doing. You'll see that coming up in just a few. We're back home. Family's unloaded. Gosh, it's crazy how many mosquitoes and bugs there are. So I got to wash that eventually. But gonna remove this panel to get to the wiring harness that goes to here, and then this eventually. I have to get this thing unplugged so that I can add the new connections that I need to it. So this will get unplugged. This will get moved from out there to in here, pull it out, and then I'll show you the whole YouTube video about this. But if you want to see it through here, I'm going to add power to these mirrors. They have power, but all right, I got to work right away, so I didn't have much to be able to show you. But basically what needs to happen, this door panel needs to come off, and then you have to unplug this main harness. And this main harness will have a bunch of little plugs like this. So sometimes people don't believe me how busy I get, but I do get extremely busy sometimes. I'm filming this video while trying to wire up these mirrors, and I get phone calls from customers, which isn't a bad thing. I'm not complaining at all, but I get super busy. And then other people need help with translations and all this, and it's great. I'm super grateful that people reach out to me to help them out as much as I can. But basically pulled this grommet out. You got to put a hole, you got to put this through. Eventually this will actually get grounded to the actual chassis. Actually didn't need to put it through there. You're gonna take these 3 wires, so it's gonna be a red, a blue, and a white America, and you're gonna put them through this grommet that's gonna come down and then eventually splice into this harness with the pins. So you see those little pins? Well, those little pins are on the bottom of this. And so once I get these through and down into here, I'll rewatch the video exactly how they put them, because they say that the crimped side that you see right here faces, I guess, away from you or something, so that when it goes inside this harness here, it can mash up well. But these are pre-wired from the factory with every option. It's just when they add these doors, if they don't have the option, obviously, of nicer mirrors, then you don't get nicer mirrors. So there's that. But yeah, so I can quickly try and do this because I still got to get Project Acty down to wash so that we can hit the road tomorrow and get going. So I'll update you as I go here. Now that we got it this far, we're going to push this grommet thing back up to really give us the room that we need to work with here, and then get it up out of our way. And then if you look ever so slightly, that if it wants to focus, there's numbers on here. I'll try and find the corresponding numbers to where they go and then go from there. All right, so if we made it this far, see this little tab? You're gonna push this tab down. We're gonna take the blue, and basically what the video said is, you see how there's this crimp? That crimp part will face this pink. So we're gonna take the blue one, and if you look closely, it'll want to focus. That's number 11. We're going to face that down, and then we're going to snap it into place there, and that'll effectively make the blue one where it's supposed to be. So we did blue, so 11, and then we're going to do red to 41, and what you simply have to do is push it down. So crimp is facing down. We're going to go ahead and push it in all the way, and you can kind of hear it snap in. Was supposed to snap in, but because I'm doing it one-handed, I'm gonna get my pick here to just push it all the way down, and you'll kind of hear the snap. Heard it snap in, and now it's nice and snug in there. So the next one will be the white one, and that goes in slot number 9. So we'll effectively have put the red in 41, the blue in 11, and the white in 9. So again, we'll kind of snap that into place there, and then we'll go from there. So now that's in, we're gonna snap this guy back in. He went in, and then we're gonna take the excess slack out of here. Kind of close that to get the excess slack out. Doing this one-handed while trying to film is definitely difficult. I think I need to invest in a real tripod so I can set you guys up to be able to watch this. I'm gonna pull the extra slack out of these 3 wires right here, so that they get cinched up correctly with the wiring harness, and so that they all look uniformed and kind of factory, I guess you could say. So pull this, pull that one, and then if we remove this boot, I guess you could say, it actually gets zip tied from here to here, so that the wires are all zip tied together and they don't move around or break apart. And then I'll throw some tape around this tape to hold it in place as well. And then I'll tape it up here as well to finally tape it into the actual harness together. And then effectively that'll be good. The only other thing we need to do is ground this wire up here somewhere on the body so it's grounded, and then we're going to take this harness and plug it into this harness, and effectively that'll give the power that we need for this. And we'll confirm that in just a few before we put all the door back together and everything. Put it back to factory with that zip tie, put some tape on here, and I believe there's another zip tie somewhere up here, looks like right here. And then we'll tape that back up, and then this side will be done, other than the ground wire. It's interesting though, they do have this in case your truck did come with the factory option, you would just plug these 2 harnesses together. But again, because mine did not, they give you the option to plug this harness together. Afterwards, it should look basically like this. This will plug into the main harness of the actual truck, and that'll connect to the bottom of it. We'll have this ground hanging out that, again, I'll end up putting somewhere over here. I'll drill a hole, tap it in, and then plug that back in, plug this back into my speaker, because that's done. And then I'll probably end up zip tying that extra ground somewhere, and then plugging this harness back in. I learned that you have to really unplug or open up the whole thing, and it'll accept it in, and then you can From there, take it, push it in, and then clip it in. And then now, let's see if I can do this while on camera. Yep, that's it. That's clipped in. On this other side, the grommet's nice and snug, so no water will get in there and ruin anything that it shouldn't. Put the speaker back together, which is down here, and then we'll put it all back together and put the door cord back on. Tried something different. So this speaker does come with this screw. It does screw into a metal retainer clip here. Let me show you, because this in theory should work. So it's got this collar that's metal, and then it's going to this metal retainer here, and it's hooked up to a metal screw. So I think that's enough for it to make contact to make a good ground point, because here's not the issue, but I really don't want to drill any holes in my door that are not necessary to drill. I mean, some would say this is necessary, but in my opinion, it's not, especially if I can get a ground off of that. So I'm going to plug the door card back in, clean the backside of it really well, because like I said, it used to be a smoker's truck. So in order to really get the whole smell, like this says GM there, you want to wipe off all that extra, I guess you could say, gunk of cigarette ash if they smoked in here, especially the driver. I could see the driver being the main issue, and that's where it picked up most of the scent. And the speaker itself was kind of caked on, and I got as much as I could off of it. But yeah, anyways, put it back together, see what happens. All right, moment of truth, this is on. We're gonna put this, and guess what? The blinker works. The blinker works. Turn the lights on. I wonder if this goes on only with the reverse. Let's put that to the test. This in reverse. Interesting. I wonder how these lights light up. Maybe when the blinkers aren't on? Lights fully have to be on? Or maybe the whole car has to be on. Learning new stuff here. Let's see. Let's close these so we get a better view. What a dud. I guess my truck doesn't have the factory options for this, but let's see. See if it's got the running light option. Hey, that's what matters. So if we put the blinker, no, but it's got the running light, and then it's got the blinker up here. So interesting. Maybe this one wasn't working for some reason, or it wasn't an option on the truck. Regardless, blinker works, running light works, which is really nice, which is great. That's really what I mainly wanted to focus on. If I can figure out the other lights, I will. So, trying to finish buttoning these up. I was on the phone with Savi right now, so I took this apart without even showing it, which sucks, and I'm sorry about that. Got the rain guards on too. These were nice and easy to snap on, or well, they actually slid into place, so that'll be good, so you can ride with the windows kind of cracked and not have to worry about water coming in. Wipe down some of the surfaces. Let me be the first to tell you that Norwalk, Connecticut, if you're thinking about moving here, if anybody from Norwalk's watching this place sucks. Savi has a lift that he bought just for his own personal use of his vehicles for his hobby, and the town's going after him because freaking they think that he's trying to run a body shop, and he's trying to run a shop out of it, and they're trying to shut him down. To the point where Savi already took the lift down. They're still coming after him, charging him $150 a day for no reason. So Norwalk is going downhill. All these venture capitalist buildings that are coming up. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for people making money, but when they do it in a way that hurts everybody else, that's when it sucks. So yeah, needless to say, free Savi, because Savi's not doing anything other than trying to enjoy his life, and they're trying to take that away from him. I'm currently looking for a clip, which is right here, that fell off, that I need to put back on this piece. When you pull it and pry it off, these things come off. So anyways, yeah, if you're thinking about moving to Norwalk, don't move somewhere else, because this town is just full of stupidity is what it is. $150 for him to have a lift in his backyard. It's just dumb. Anyways, my rant's over. So poked through, loomed it up this time so it's nice and loomed. Poked it through here, same thing. We're gonna get it past this pink point, 41, 9, and 11. Again, it's just easier to do. 41 is red, blue is 11, and white is 9. All right, so the grommet's back. This is all together now. We're gonna take this, put it back through the hole over here, which you can't really see, but there it is. Push this through. And then we're going to open this back up all the way. Get footage of this for you guys. Let me tell you, it's such a pain, and half the time my hand is covering everything, so. Wow. Holy smokes. So you could see the struggles on video. Ouch, I just pinched myself. Mother F. Oh my gosh. This is like way more angled than the last one for some reason. Let's see. Maybe I gotta get it started and then open it. Oh, the struggles are real. I'm gonna put this down. Needed 2 hands to line it up. Let's open this all the way. Kind of shove it all into place here. Another phone call. Note to self, remember there's that little pink tab. Push that thing back down so that this actually goes into place where it needs to. And then, now that it's nice and flush, you don't have to force it. It'll go into where it needs to go. And so now it has. So now we'll put the bottom part down and then click it in place. That's good. We'll fix this grommet here so it's positioned correctly and actually suctioned around just like that one. It's just a matter of pulling the lip all around, and that's it. Now you got yourself a door with the grommet properly placed. And yeah, this one's good. We'll replace this back up on here. That locks in. This is hooked up. Again, we'll zip tie this like we did the last one. We'll put the speaker, we'll put this on the speaker and go from there. Get it? So Grover brings me ice cream. He says, can you share some with me? And I can't say no because he brought it on a hot day. So, oh, hi, Mamash. The whole family's down here. Wow. I get ice cream and chicken tikka.
And water.
And Figalicious. And water. And you. And Lola. So the whole family. Is Augie sleeping?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's out.
So we'll test these in just a second. You gotta enjoy these goodies. All right, so now that that's all buttoned up together, we'll take this. That's chilling because it's a little on the warm side. Take this and plug her back in, and then put this back in over here. Trying to do this one-handed in film. I'm sorry if the camera's shaky, achy, bakey, wakey. Can you tell I'm a rapper? No, I'm not, but put this guy, hook it in there, put it back in here, grab this screw, grab this guy, and grab that. Love you guys. Thank you. And then do that. And then, nice and snug. Now we're grounded. Put a zip tie on this. Put this back on the door, get it all snapped back in, and test it to see if it's working. And we'll find out if that mirror on that side must be bad or if just don't have those options for those lights. I'll show a little bit of this, but place that in as far as it'll go. Click that down, and then again, hard to do one-handed, but it'll click into place there. Take this guy, bring it around, pull that back, slot that into place, slide it into place where it needs to go here with these guide clips and these clips over here, which that one got annihilated. Shout out to Kyle. Sorry, Kyle, I did it to the other side too. Clip it in place and then we'll test it. One important thing, take that out of there, bring it up, and then we'll slot into place there. Put these into where they need to go. It goes back in. A good couple. I'd say that ain't going nowhere. And then we'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws back on, and then 6 with this one here. covers, and we'll be done. But let's test it. And in order to test it, we'll come in here, flick that on, flick this to the right. Hey, now we're cooking. Let's see if the running lights work. For that, we'll need to go back over here. Turn all that to the on position. That one's on. That one's on. Sweet. And these are still not working. Gotta figure out why. Let's see if we put it in reverse, if those end up working on that side. Again, it might just be an option that just wasn't wired up for my truck. Parking brake is still on. Those are not on. And these aren't on. I don't know. Let's see if my reverse lights are on in the back. Huh, so those aren't on. Maybe it has to be on for those to work. Little trick of the trade. Just a piece of garbage I got lying around, but normally, sometimes these bolts, they don't hold on. But with a little bit of garbage, you shan't like jam between it. You can get it enough for like a crevice like this to go in there, put it in place. Well, I should probably rip it off. Hold on. That's much better. But now we have enough to go into this crevice here where the bolt won't fall out because it's not going to be jammed up. And then sometimes the trash stays back, but at least you can take the hook, grab the trash out, but your bolt won't fall through and down into the abyss. All right, so we've confirmed it works. Take this little cap, put it back where it goes here, snap it into place. Take this little cap, clean it up a little because it's filthy. So that's where all the gunk goes. I think 75% of the gunk is gone anyway. Snap it into place, that's done. And then the final piece to the puzzle is this guy. Snap that guy in, all those, and then that ain't going nowhere. And effectively now you have tow mirrors that work. Some rain guards, and then the last other mod that I need to do, like I said, that HD camera, but I got to pull the whole truck forward. I'm gonna eat lunch and then do that. All right, quickly scarf down lunch, got the door back together. Now to work on this camera. We have to take this panel out, and I got to dig all this extra stuff out of these little screws so that I can fit a Torx on there to get this off. So I can install what allegedly will be an HD camera as opposed to the one that comes factory that isn't very good, but we'll find out. Let's find out together. Let me get these cleaned off, let me get a Torx bit and get this opened up, and I'll show you what's back here. With a little bit of finesse, we got it out, and that's what we need to get to. So let's move this cap. Interesting, I guess that's supposed to be there. But we got to get to the camera, which is on this latch. So we got to remove the latch, have to remove this one, probably unplug this guy over here. I'm pushing this guy out, which allows me to push that. That cable comes off, and then there's one under there. So let's get this motor off. We'll undo these, and then we can get to the main thing. And here's where my camera's going. I wonder if someone has already replaced this camera with an HD camera, but I doubt it. It's probably the same wiring harness that it came with or something. Let's get this off. Again, I get so ahead of myself that I start to work and forget that I have people that may want to watch this to do this, but it's very straightforward. Like I said, the two 10 mils here, this motor comes off. Once that motor comes off, then you have the other 10 mil here and here, and then you just have to pop these down. I just unplugged the camera for here because I'm gonna have to get the creeper and get under there. This looks to be like an original GM part, but it says made in Thailand. This one has nothing on it, so I think it's never been replaced. I think it's original factory. It also has this tape that looked like it might be original factory. So we'll get it unraveled, put onto here, and then we'll just have to rerun the wire from down here and down into the module where it all hooks up. So let me do that. All it is the same fasteners you use here, which I think is a T20 or a T15. You just have to undo those, put this camera in, and then go from there. Then it'll look like this. We'll just have to put this over this guy here, clip that into place, move that up a little bit, clip that into place, and then you're gonna get your motor here and put it right basically there, and it's gonna hook this guy into this guy, and that's what is effectively locks and unlocks your doors, moves it all around. But before you get too ahead of yourself, make sure you put the 10s that go on the underside of it to hold the actual handle. Doing this in real time with you. It's a little snug, nothing crazy. And it looks like if you just start this one, and you can simply put that over the lock area, just like so. Grab this guy, pop it in here, like that. Two ugga-duggas, and then find your connector here, which is right here, and plug her in like so. Push this connector back, and then this guy goes right there, and then we're going to feed this through so it comes out on this side. So as we're working the old one out, we can work this new one in. So this will be kind of interesting. Oh, I don't have much room to work with, so let me try and finesse this. To fish the wire, I'm basically resting this so I have enough room to get my hand in here, but the hole or the point of entry for it is down there. You can kind of see it go in. And you just want to snake it down to go all the way through the middle, enough to just pull your slack out, and then from there just feed it in through this hole over here like so, and then it's just a matter of feeding it in through this other hole. Now we'll take this awesome thing that my buddy from a shop that I worked at before gave me that turns into a workbench into a creeper. So let me be a creeper for a little bit and creep under there. Okay, so I'm underneath the truck bed. It's gonna be this connector here. So it looks like if I look at this connector, it does have one of these red pin things that you gotta pull down and then you can push up. So let's see if I can do it with my finger. Nope, I'm gonna have to get a pick tool in there, but also have to undo them from their, you can't see it here, but there's a place where they're snaked through. There it is. I got one off, and let's see if I can reach the other one behind the tire, which makes it a little tricky to do. Okay, I got it off, so that's done. Now I gotta put the new one in it, which you guys are probably like, what the heck is he doing? Just trust me when I tell you. Oh, I just closed it. It's one of those jobs that you can't really see, but just take my word for it that it's there. Let's see. There, I can quickly, that's back on. It's almost like a ratcheting thing that holds it in place. Move this old one, ratchet this one back on. Okay, that one's back on. Now it's just a matter of unplugging this old one and plugging this new one in. Let's see. I have my pick somewhere. Okay, after some much work that this connector needed to be unplugged, the best way is pull this thing down, put a pick behind that little thing in there, and it'll slide right out. And now we're going to take our connector, make sure that the red thing's not slid in place. We're going to take it, clean off the area as much as possible. Hear it click, lock it in, and in theory we should be good now. Pull this slack back just ever so slightly so it's not hanging out right there. And then pull this slack back out of the old one. And after pulling the slack back out, you kind of just want to finesse the plug out. There you have your old camera. with what looks to be the factory. And here you have your new one, all plugged in and ready to go. I guess we'll see. The issue with this one is before, it's perfectly fine, so I'll save it in case this China one breaks. But before, it just very grainy, didn't look as good. And so I was looking, and one of the things they said was a simple upgrade. Again, I think it was like 20-30 bucks for this camera. So you really can't go wrong there for better quality when you're backing up, especially when it comes to having a trailer on the back of it. Another thing I wanted to open this up for was because I want to do a badge delete of the Chevy and the Silverado. I think it just looks cleaner. The last truck didn't really have anything. So also wanted to see if there was like any nubs like on the Hondas. You know, they have the two little tabs, so it would be blank. So this one doesn't. I may not completely delete the badge, but I'll black it out if anything, but I still want to remove it to then put it back on. So we'll see. That's down the line when I have more time. Right now don't have as much time. I got to finish this up, park it, and then go grab Project Acty and head over to Teggy's to go see Gabe and Kim to go and watch the Project Acty for the last time, so we can load it on the trailer and hit the road tomorrow. So as well as what's that other car called? The N-Box. Last final piece is pull that off. I mean, the camera looks better anyway, better than the last one. Maybe not. Maybe it's cheap China. So let's find out. So we got it on. Let's see if by some miracle when we put it in reverse those come on. They did not come on. I don't know, guys. I don't know if it actually makes a world of a difference or not, but I don't know if the video's picking it up. Those little lines, it looks like it is, but either I didn't get an HD camera, or I don't know what's going on, but or I had an HD camera, and overall Chevys just suck at video quality on the screens. It could be the case. Let's see if my reverse lights are back on. So those are on, these are on, those are not on, and those are not on. All right, well, I guess no lights when it comes to this one, but it is what it is. Let's see. Blinkers still function. They don't light up there anyway, but these light up with running lights anyway. So for now, that's it. Let's button it up. I think those are all the mods that I wanted to do for today. And then head over to Teggy's. I do have to clean this bed out. I got to get rid of all the stuff that I do not need because there's too much junk in here. All right, so there it is. Just ramps for, I guess, emergency purposes, I guess you could say, which are beating up my bed. I really don't like to have them, but they've been proven useful so far. So we'll hang on to them for now. We'll close this up. Eventually this will end up in the tongue box of the trailer. It's just a light so that it works. Back up jumper pack because you never know when you need it. This is just kind of held in place. This is when we drop the jack foot on the trailer. So yeah, learned that if you don't take your hitch off, it could actually get stolen. So took that off. It's interesting, they coated this with some sort of like almost rubber or powder coat, but the old trailer was 2 5/16, the new one's 2-inch. Neither of them wanted to like lock in. They finally did, but it's kind of rubbing off. But the bed's clean nevertheless. So most of our stuff is going to go in here. I guess you could say all our junk or whatever. And then if we pick up goodies on the way, like I said, probably 90% of this will end up in the tongue box of the trailer. So if I do need to have this open for anything, I can. If you're in that area, I don't know when you'll see this video, but if you're in like New Mexico, Montana area, and you need anything hauled back to Connecticut or New York area or anywhere in between, let me know. Anything from a scooter to a pallet. I don't want to come back empty-handed with a trailer, so, or empty trailer. So working on that too to see what we can find on the way back. So for now, we are, I guess you could say, quote unquote, done here. We're gonna head over to Teggy's and get the Acty washed up. So tonneau covers are kind of a pain if you ask me, but let's see if we can get this one to close nicely. I think either way I'm gonna have to replace it because it's getting old and brittle, but for now, if we can make it work, we will make it work. Now we're in Project Acty. We're actually headed to the tire shop, Temford Tire. What they had to do was heat up the nut to get it to break loose from the outer tie rod, and so effectively that kind of throws it off. Now that it's loosened, they can actually get it fully loose, because right now, as you can tell how I'm driving straight, the wheel's kind of cockeyed to the left. So let's see if they can get it nice and straight for me, and then from there we'll head to Teggy's. We're gonna meet up with Gabe and Kim, hopefully help them out with a little bit of a couple cars that they're doing, or a car that they're doing, and then we'll tackle this one, bring all the stuff home that we need, and then tomorrow we should hopefully be good to get on the road. Just probably last minute things, like I have to find the rims and tires, the original ones that came on this thing, so that they can go to the new owner, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so driving a lot better. It's actually tracking straight. I mean, it still naturally pulls to the right, I feel like, because I'm weighted on this side, but it's good. But driving behind this ramp truck here, I have new aspirations in life. I think that's what I want to get. I can definitely fit probably 2 or 3 vehicles on that thing, which is pretty rad. Very similar to a JDM one. I wonder what the price of these are here. And we made it. From Connecticut to Teggy's. Look how filthy this thing is. Hopefully it doesn't get super filthy on the way home, because it's getting loaded up on the back of the trailer tomorrow, along with Daniel Chavez's Unbox. We're headed to New Mexico, then Montana. We're gonna pull this in. It's probably gonna take like 3 hours to do. Just kidding. It's K-Truck. We literally have the cab in this, but we're gonna make it look like $1 million for its journey over to Montana. It's a bittersweet, the final wash, but guess what? There will be more. There will be more. Hot day. It's supposed to rain today, but we're in here. We're in this mess. Midget still needs to go, so if you're interested, let me know. But basically what I have to do is not trip over random things and my kids decide to move, but I basically have to get to these stacks of tires over here, because I gotta get freaking, what's it called, tires from here that go to the Acty. And honestly, after all this, I gotta get rid of a lot of junk, so I'm gonna move some stuff around. If anybody's interested in some Prado wheels, Toyota wheels, they fit most all your Toyotas, let me know. Give you a killer deal. Tires are shot, rims are good, but have to move a bunch of stuff, and I'm kind of hoping that, no, it's actually all the way at the bottom. So let me move some stuff out of the way. Just easier if the midget's out of the way. Moved it there. We'll get it back in here. Let's just move all this junk. Maybe I can quickly organize some things to get it out of the way. But yeah, I gotta get back there. About 10 minutes later, my garage is in shambles, which is a good thing. It's not a bad thing. This is really, really good. Then it exposes what I have and what I don't need. At the same time, I'm getting rid of things like, I don't know why. I have a piece of carpet midget here. Carpet from a midget, but I also have these rims and tires. Actually, these are just tires in reality. I don't know why I kept these tires, to be honest with you. I wonder what they came off of. Because they seem a little dry rotted. But I don't know. Maybe I'll get rid of these. But I think I kept those because of the size. 165, 65 13s. If ever anything needed something. I don't think they're dry rotted, but maybe that's why I kept them. Honestly, don't know. But I have brand new tires. These are some for a car or a project. Whatever K car. But these were the ones that I was trying to get to. The original rims and tires for the Acty. These tires are dry rotted, but I told Steve, hey, if you want the originals for like a winter setup, this would be great. You paint these caps white and you get yourself some nice looking hubcaps and steelies. So yeah, I'm gonna get these out of here. Glad these are leaving the garage, giving me some more space to work with. So without killing myself, I'm gonna move stuff. Whew, I'm winded. So after some moving things around and rearranging, which is something I'm really good at, I guess you could say I'm really good at playing Tetris. So got everything back where it can go for now. Things that are for sale, eventually I'll get here. But if you're watching this video, these still may be available. Whew. These are 4x everything, 4x100, 4x110, and 4x114.3. I posted them up here locally in the New England K group or whatever, mini truck group. Make me an offer. If they're still available and you want them, great. If you're local, even better. I don't really want to ship these. The tires are pretty much dry rotted on the inside, but 4x everything 12. They're 135 80 by 12. So if you need them just to move a car around or paint the car or something, these are great. I kept them for in case somebody bought a car and they didn't want to pay extra money. I would just take the wheels away, but everybody always takes the wheels. I always give everybody a good deal. So anyways, those are available. If you're interested, let me know. I want to get them out. The Prada wheels are available, and then there's just miscellaneous tires that I probably should just take and dump and get rid of them, dispose of them properly. But for now, we gotta hit the road. Got that. This is a rooftop tent that someone gave me, I think last year. The tarp, and then the non-lifted parts for the Acty that I'll give to Steve as well, so he has everything. Well, stock form for the Acty. I am winded, I'm sweating, I'm dripping sweat. Not really how I want to get my road trip started, but nevertheless, we got to go get the trailer. The end box is sitting chilling here. Acty's down below. I'll go get the truck, put the goodies in the back of it, and then hit the road to go get the trailer. Load it up, load up the family, and shalom out of here. Now we're in the truck, loaded up with the things that needed to go in the bed, other than like our provisions, like our clothes and all that stuff. So headed to go pick up the trailer, and then I'll load up the two cars in the hope, cross fingers, that they fit. So we'll see. Made it to pick up the trailer. The other day I wired these up and I didn't realize that these come on in reverse, but they also come on with the cargo lights up here, which makes sense now. Yeah, gonna load up and head out. Sometimes the ball is too tight that you gotta, or, wow. It was neither of those.